that volunteering contribute to the social development in Cambodia here is that firstly, volunteering provide the knowledge and skills to take over change each day's societies. The second one is volunteering have a fight against the hindrance or impediments of social development. Or in other words, volunteering help us to fight against or reduce the social problem in Cambodia. And the third one, volunteering help build strong cohesive communities. Let's first start with the first point. Volunteering provide necessary skill and knowledge for us to take corrective change. Now we all know that the process of development in Cambodia, the human resource is very important for the process of social development in Cambodia. And if our human resource lacks skill or knowledge, the process of development might not smooth. And at that time, living might also turn difficult. We might also face a problem. And that is because we are no longer living by cultural traditions. We are no longer living in the 12th, the 13th, or the 14th century. We are living in the 21st century where life is so complicated that require a base of skill and knowledge. And as an example, we can see that last year the foreign and CSAJ Cambodia tree planting, which comprised of some 600 volunteers from Phnom Penh who traveled to Siem Reap to have awareness on sustainable environment for sustainable living, do have. For one thing, they have planted a tree to have turned the Siem Reap city into a city which might have attract more tourists for the people living in Siem Reap. And also, this event has also, the people have also taught Siem Reap people on how to protect the environment.
Good job. Keep on going.
Open, because and in this regard, volunteering also comes in the picture of sharing skill and experience and chance to learn. Now we went through the events. There are some 600 in the events, and we work together. And in the process of interactions, they learn how to communicate. They talk, they discuss. They will learn how to debate on the project is going. So at that very pictures, they learn. They acquire skill that is very important in their societies. And the second point, volunteering fight against social problems in Cambodian societies. Sorry for the slide.
You can go to conclusions. Or third point, you may read.
Last word.
Another minute, please. So the third point, volunteering also have built a strong communities for all of us. And in conclusions, I don't just want my presentation here to end with just you sitting here listening to me. I'm learning about volunteering, and we go back home forgetting the point. Because remember, everyone can make a huge positive difference. Volunteering matters. Volunteering matters. So, my fellow Cambodians, my business audience, will you leave this room and start to avail some of your time and your effort to volunteer for the sake of our society? Will you volunteer?
Yes. Yes.
Will you volunteer?
Yes.
Will you volunteer?
Yes.
And the last part of my presentation is that at the heart of volunteers, there are two reasons. Reasons that can change the society for better. And at the hands of volunteers, it can pass much more benefit for the betterment of our societies. And I believe together we can bring developments to our societies. So start doing it now. Start volunteering from now on. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let me invite a question from Jerry.
Thanks a lot. Just a short question. Everyone agrees that volunteer is good. It matters for sure. Have you heard any of circumstances where volunteer can be bad, can be harmful?
Actually, I myself I'm a certified volunteers, and somehow, although I get benefits from volunteering as a certificate after volunteering, but somehow, sometimes I feel like volunteering can, brings disadvantages to us also. Just our thinking. Sometimes we feel that we are inferior to those who, we are inferior to those who use all the, let's say in a project, we have the senior officers, those who run the projects, and the volunteers who are under their commands have to follow him or her. That is, I think, one bad thing that we can reflect from volunteering. And also, I think somehow volunteering can be unfair. It can be seen as only the, let's say, the tool that some organization can just use or render to get benefit for themselves. And they use volunteering as features to get their image, but actually they are not paying the volunteers.
Okay, thank you. Just another short one. In Cambodia, given our past, parents usually advise the children not take care of other people's business. For example, if you're riding or driving along the road, some people were fighting or they were in an accident. Usually they tend not to help because it's not your business. And by helping, you will have to burden some cost and risk. So suppose if you're riding on the road and people were in an accident, would you help? And why?
That is a very tough question. Seeing someone having an accident, being around, what would I have? So would I have? Anyone here would have him. If you see around me, please, honestly, anyone here? No? So I'm going to answer it. So to answer these questions, I will go back a little bit to the definitions. The act of doing some things, based on one's own skill, interest, or learning, with many without getting paid and intended to, truly help others and improve human
Sorry, because we are running out of time. Why don't you just answer directly? Why are you going to do that?
Oh, so would I have? So if I have, it depends on the circumstance also. This is not a case of volunteering. Helping is volunteering, but if volunteering causes danger to you, are you going to do it? So my answer is no. Not a complete no, but it depends on the circumstance also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so open phone to so result so mình chơi là phải chuẩn bị kỹ từ con anh chàng vô project. Vô bệnh viện. Có việc giải quyết ra được kỹ không anh? Này.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Cambodia, and today it is my great honor for me to have a chance to stand here and present you my topic, why volunteering matters in social development of Cambodia. First of all, I'm going to tell you the contents of my presentation. I have introduction, and in the body part of my presentation, I'm going to tell you the impacts of volunteering on social development. Then I'm going to reflect my own experience to the presentation, and finally conclude the whole presentation and give you recommendations. The first thing that I want to tell you today, did you know that in Australia, volunteering in welfare service alone could save up to $27.4 billion? So if we in Cambodia volunteer, imagine how much money we can save, and we can use the money that we save on volunteering to improve the areas or the sectors that we still lack of. To make you understand clearer about my topic, I'm going to give you a definition of volunteer. To volunteer means to do something without being forced to do it or getting paid to do it. So you do it by your own passion. And there's a saying, if not me, who? If not I, when? So as you are part of Cambodian society, you have to volunteer and make change to our society. If you have the chance to volunteer, do not wait, volunteer. At the same time, but people are volunteering, they work for one mutual interest. In this case, they create social trust. So if people in Cambodia, if we achieve social solidarity, Cambodian society will be a peaceful society where there is no war, no civil war, internal conflicts. As we achieve social and political stability, foreign investors will come to invest in Cambodia. And then do we see development emerges in our country? Secondly, volunteering empowers you. As you have known already that to be qualified for a job, you have to have enough working experience. So when you start from the first day, they can volunteer in different organizations or do social work. At the same time, they will build their self-confidence since they believe that they are too important for our society. They will also get a chance to be inspired by the experiences of those who are successful because of volunteering. Since youth is capable enough to be employed, it will lead to the reduction of youth unemployment rate in Cambodia. As a result, there will be less social disorders in our country. Thirdly, volunteering puts an end to social problems such as drug use, illiteracy, and lack of social services. So how can we as volunteers put an end to drug use in Cambodia? While the government takes part in drug rehabilitation, we can provide drug education to the local people. We can also work closely with the local authorities to report the drug use cases to them so that they can find the solutions to deal with the problem. At the places where children do not go to school, we can create a volunteering group and we provide education to those children. Even though we are not official, but I believe that we can at least teach children how to read and write. At the places where medical services are needed, we can create a volunteering group which consists of competent medical doctors and medical students. And we provide free medical services to those people. You will be surprised at how many people you can save. At the same time, while we are volunteering, we raise the public awareness. We make people realize that they too have to do something about the problem that we are all facing together. So as we are Cambodian people, we have a long time conflict with Thai people. And together with Thailand, we are working to be in a Asian community. So how can we be in a Asian community if we fight one another like we are enemies? So we have to build peace in our region. So currently, I'm volunteering to be the committee of the second Cambodian exchange program, to run the program for the second time. I work to build peace between Thailand and Cambodia. And we have youth from both countries to live and learn together so that they can build peace in the region. In conclusion, volunteering creates social solidarity, empowers youth, raises public awareness, and puts an end to social problems. So Cambodia needs us, so why do we have to wait? Be the change for Cambodia. Make Cambodia a better place for your children, your grandchildren, and the next generation. And one last thing that I want to tell you today. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. No, we cannot change the whole situation in one day, but I believe that we can at least change it by little and little. Thank you.
I think many of us as jury members have many experience volunteering. And usually volunteer work only at the beginning, it work only just for a few weeks or a few months, and later people will resign or they don't continue the work. So I'm wondering if you can address or can give an idea how volunteering activity can be sustained or can be last for a long time.
As we are volunteers, if you want to keep volunteering sustainable, the first thing that we want to do is start from ourselves. Keep volunteering. If we don't volunteer, so how can the other volunteer? And the other thing is that we motivate the other who has not volunteered. Just like we have volunteering opportunity and we offer the opportunity to our friends. And if they get inspired by our experience, they will keep on doing volunteering. Just like not everyone can volunteer forever because we have family responsibilities. But we can at least do it little by little, just like I have mentioned in my conclusion. So if I have, in the future, if I have an opportunity to be the founder of an organization, just like I will keep on working on volunteering. Just like offering volunteering opportunity to the youth. Thank you.
Thank you for your interesting talk. If I remember correctly, you have done a lot of work as a volunteer. Am I right? My question is, what do you think the potential barriers to promote volunteering in Cambodia? Why you do, why not others? And do you have any suggestion that that can be used to promote volunteerism in Cambodia?
Just like the problems with volunteering, why many people still do not volunteer is the barrier. Because when people think of volunteering, they think that they just only work for the other without getting benefit. Just like they work for the others without getting benefits for themselves, and they don't know the objectives or their own purpose. Why do they want to volunteer? In this case, we can tell them, we can explain people that they do not just only have the other or society, but they can also gain credits from volunteering, just like they gain experience or something like that. And just like if I want to promote volunteering to make more people volunteer, just like we can, if I am the founder of an organization, I can have a volunteering announcement, just like to make my volunteering announcement to look more attractive, just like we put that volunteering opportunities fund, so why don't all of us join? And one last thing is that I have found a surprising fact in the United States, where President Barack Obama, he said that he encouraged people to volunteer. So if in Cambodia, many leaders or just like the dean of the school or just like people in high class, in high-ranking officials or something like that, they motivate you to volunteer. I believe that many youth will volunteer, and they will see the benefit of volunteering.
Thank you very much. It was a very impressive presentation. When you do some volunteering work, do you expect at least some appreciation from the local people or from the people that will benefit from what you do?
Personally, everyone expects just like appreciation from the other people. But for my current situation, I'm volunteering as the committee of the second Cambodia Change program. Because I volunteer not because of the appreciation from the other people, but because of the inspiring ideas or experiences that I have experienced in the last exchange program. I told myself that I have to work further to build peace. And that time I asked the other committee, what are the other opportunities that I can attend the second program, that I can help to promote the second program. So they told me that you can volunteer and be the committee. And they also warned me that if you volunteer, sometimes you have to spend your own money, or sometimes you have to go to Thailand and have conference or something, and you have to skip some classes at school. But I still motivate myself that I have to do it because it is my passion.
Okay, thank you. So one last question from Gary.
Okay. So do you think we need to be selective or at least careful when we decide to volunteer on something? For example, you raised an example of you joining that Korean Thai border committee.
Yes.
So I think it relates back to Dina's earlier question with another contestant that it can be harmful. For example, if the C is actually masterminded by a broader picture, for example, a country politician.
Just like you want to relate it to my own case, or
the question is whether we need to be careful or selective of the volunteering work before you decide to participate.
Just like in Cambodia, it's not that kind of problem. It's not really a problem because the problem that we can see in Cambodia nowadays are lacking of social services, which is a very important problem. Just like especially medical services. Because people cannot get access to medical services, so I don't think that volunteering in this kind of program just affect other people at all, or affect the politics at all.
Just very short one, just yes or no, okay? The same question to him.
Yes.
Would you have if you see people in accident? Yes or no?
Yes and no, same question.
Yes or no. Would you have if you see
Honestly,
an accident?
I would not go to have directly.
Yes or no?
Yes, because.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. Topic number 2, Mr. Im Lim Kosal.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kosal, Lim Kosal, I'm from IFL. And today, my job is to explain why volunteering matters in social development in Cambodia. But first of all, I would like to start my presentation by defining this word, social development. I'm sure that you all know the definition of this term, but it is pretty much hard to find a common definition regarding this term. So to make life easier, I would like to explain this term as an improvement in social services. Because obviously, once our social services improve, it means we are now on the progress to develop our society. And next, what is volunteering? Of course, volunteers do volunteering works, but what are those kind of works? Obviously, volunteering works are the wide range of activities that people do in the form of mutual aids with civil participation for the sake of the public in order to gain mutual benefits to develop our, for example, society. So, in this case, why volunteering matters? Actually, if you couldn't catch anything from a presentation, I hope you could understand three main ideas. Because these three things are the things that we're going to talk today. Well, one, community development. Second, social education. And last but not least, everyone is socially included. First and foremost, community development. When I talk about community development, simply I mean that this is the basic stuff that we need in order to have this whole society developed. Because by the term volunteering itself, it simply means that the people who are doing the work are the ones who have the real passion, the real interest in doing the work. So in this case, it guarantees a maximum level of commitment that can enhance a strong and cohesive societies that make mutual aids and benefits to develop our community. And when we have our community developed, we can have our social service also. So pretty much you can disagree with my argument here, but you cannot deny the fact that volunteering exists in such activities. First picture is the 400 youth volunteers that has just left Phnom Penh recently to join the land management program with the Ministry of Land Management in granting approximately 1,200,000 hectares of land to farmers and villagers worldwide. And this is something important that our society needs. And the second reason is the Cambodian Red Cross youth volunteers, and I'm sure you have seen them like every weekend, because they sacrifice their time instead of going shopping. They're standing on the street raising awareness of traffic social issues. I used to be one of them when I was in high school, and it was a great experience because we ourselves can help something for our society. The second point I'm going to talk about today is the volunteering and the importance it could provide for educational development. First of all, education is part of social development. When I say that, I mean the logic is pretty much very simple. Because if you want to have a society that's developed, that society needs to be literate. And literate society comes from literate people. And literate people come from educational institutions, schools, university, or educational NGOs, for example. So in this case, if educational service can improve, then other social services can also develop it. But why volunteering matters in this context? Because have you ever thought of how tremendous amount of money you could save for the government instead of annually budgeting the national budget for educational sector, but allowing another key player, which is volunteers, to work in this progress? And also, have you ever thought of how many teachers, both national and international, we could gain through volunteering? So the case study I've got here is Miss Joanna Toff. She's an Australian volunteer who came from Cambodia. She said that in her role, she's managing the production of textbooks and also in the management team and training local staff. She's grateful because she has the opportunity to help Cambodians development through volunteering. So pretty much we can see that not only the direct education that can provide to our society, management function can also improve through volunteering helps, and also we can have the training services for our local teachers as well. And this is what's important. The last one I've got today is everyone is socially included. When I say socially included, it means everybody, ordinary people, disabled people, HIV positive people, they are all included in the society. Because we ourselves can volunteer to help them, can volunteer to teach them, can volunteer to take care of them, and they themselves can take this opportunity to gather themselves, relate themselves to the society, make use to live with us, and somehow get over an obstacle which is considering them as a inferior group of people in society. Last case study of that is Miss Surinam. She's a resident and also volunteer at Chabak village in Siem. She said that she's happy being a Red Cross volunteer, and she knows who are the most vulnerable and what kind of support benefiting them. So simply, volunteers know exactly what the real victims or the people who need that support. Instead of the government, they may know a little bit, but for the volunteers themselves, they work with the community, they know what they really want. So in conclusion, I can summarize my three main points that with community development, human resource development, and social discrimination free, I'm sure and I'm confident to say that volunteers matters in our social development. Thank you.
A little bit out of the topic. Just want to know if the three of you are in the same program as well.
I'm at international
All three of
studies.
you here. Different
Department.
So you guys didn't work in group.
What?
You guys did say you didn't work in group.
Did you guys work in
No, I didn't.
for this? Sorry.
I just met him today.
Alright, okay.
It's first topic similar.
Okay, I have one question. Based on your experience, for example, with the Cambodian Red Cross, how do you convince other people to do voluntary work?
Well, pretty much convincing someone is not really easy, to be honest. But I myself